Why, Daryl, why? We spent a full season, 6 full episodes, with the entire premise of Daryl Dixon, the whole storyline, Daryl Dixon, trying to get back to America, trying to escape from France and get back home to his family in the States, and then he decides at the end he's going to stay. Welcome back, guys, to Fog Entertainment, here to talk a little bit about The Walking Dead, Daryl Dixon, and I just cannot wrap my head around what we've seen at the end of this episode, or at least, should I say, the end of the Daryl portion of Coming Home, because we all know the episode actually ended with the introduction of Carol, but that is a separate video. We're here to talk about Daryl Dixon. So, as you know, from the get-go, in this series, Daryl Dixon arrives in France. He's on a boat, and as soon as he gets to France, his mission is to get the hell off of France. He wants to get back to America, and he spends the entire season doing whatever he must do, helping whoever he must help, in order to try and get the resources, to try and get the favors that he needs to try and get the transport back to America. And in towards the end of Coming Home, the guy has fulfilled his part of the bargain. He has got Isabel and Laurent to the nest. He has got them where they needed to get. He has protected them. He has saved them. He has done his part. And now it is time for them to hold up their end of the bargain and get Daryl this boat so he can get back to America. Now, the boat is there. The boat is a done deal. But Daryl can leave on the boat. But he gets asked to stay by multiple people, and then Isabella almost tries to guilt trip Daryl into saying, what about Laurent? Laurent needs you. But, I mean, what about his family in America? His family in America need Daryl. And then Isabel, and I think this made her character totally unlikable, she compared Daryl to his dad. She says, like, you know, like father, like son, and she compared Daryl's dad, who was a deadbeat and used to beat the Dixons up and just left and disappeared for months at a time and abandoned them. He compared Daryl Dixon to being like his dad, with the fact he was going to leave Laurent. I'm like, what the hell? Laurent's not his son. Laurent's not his family. Laurent's not his problem. He barely knows Laurent. He just met Laurent. Why the hell would Daryl Dixon stay and give up his life? Give up the family that he's got back in America. Give up the family that's waiting for him. Give up the family that's trying to find him and are relying on him. Why would Daryl Dixon just give all that up to stay with some kid that he's literally just met, some kid that he owes nothing to, and in fact, some kid he's went above and beyond to try and help this season? I didn't understand this from Isabel when she tried to guilt trip Daryl after everything Daryl's done for her, and she almost compared Daryl, well, not almost, she did compare Daryl to his father. For me, that made zero sense. I just did not understand that whatsoever, how she came to those conclusions and how Daryl just didn't put her in her place. I honestly do not get, because she overstepped the line big time. Now, she was annoyed that Daryl didn't want to say goodbye to Laurent, but I think you could argue maybe Daryl didn't want it to be awkward, maybe Daryl didn't want it to be emotional, and he didn't want to hurt Laurent, so he thought maybe leaving out the back door, so to speak, would have been the best option. But we see anyway that Laurent followed Daryl. So if he told Laurent that he was leaving, I'm sure Laurent would have followed him anyway. The guy followed him without even knowing he was going. So I'm sure if he did know, he would have followed him even more. And the whole thing with Laurent catching up with Daryl, even though Daryl left like a day early and no walkers get Laurent and he survives, and without food it's like a 2-day trek, and Laurent manages to creep up on Daryl. We know Daryl's this like great guy that can track and he can do all this shit, but he couldn't track the fact that Laurent was with him the entire time. Laurent was, you know, following him. Daryl's the tracker, but somehow Laurent followed Daryl for 2 days straight. And then on the beach, when Daryl's trying to track down the boat, There's no walkers, and then out of nowhere, we have 50 walkers. I mean, what the hell? Daryl starts killing them. He looks round, he sees Laurent. Laurent chants Daryl. Daryl looks at the boat, and then Daryl Dixon turns his back on the boat, and we see all these walkers closing in on Laurent. And, I mean, it made no sense to me why Daryl Dixon would choose to stay in France over leaving. Now, who knows? We could argue maybe he was trying to go back and save Laurent or whatnot. Maybe he's going to take Laurent back to the nest and try and leave again. But Daryl Dixon's done his part. He doesn't owe anybody in France anything. Daryl Dixon has done his job, and he deserved to go home. And he spent the entire season, the entire 6 episodes, trying to get this boat, trying to do whatever it took for the boat to be given to him, for access to the boat. And then at the very end, when he's there, when the boat is in his sights, when he can get on the boat and get the hell out of here, he decides he doesn't want to do that anymore, and he turns his back on the boat and decides to stay in France. What was the point of the season? What was the actual point of this season? It made zero sense to me. I thought the entire thing, guys, was dumb. Just dumb how he turns his back on the boat, everybody in America, and decides to stay in France. So look, we'll need to wait and see what happens in season 2. But I just did not understand this. I thought it was lazy writing. It just made the whole season feel pointless. That Daryl Dixon is choosing basically some kid that he's met for what? I don't even know the timeline, but he's not met this kid for long, and he's given up a chance to get on this boat and get back to America. Made zero sense to me, guys. Let me know what you guys thought of it. But yeah, for me, it was dumb. It was very, very dumb. But maybe you guys enjoyed it. Maybe you guys have reasons, explanations. Let me know down in the comments. I'll catch you in the next one. And of course, until then, been Fog Entertainment. Thanks for watching. Peace.